never invested as much in public education as we should have because we've always had kind of a private notion of children. Your kid is yours and totally your responsibility. We haven't had a very collective notion of these are our children. So part of it is we have to break through our kind of private idea that kids belong to their parents. We have to break through our kind of private idea that kids belong to their parents.
Take a look at this. It's a Bible school in Alabama, and they put up a billboard with a quote from the Nazi leader. It says, "He alone who owns the youth gains the future."
We're gonna change it and rearrange it. We're gonna change the world.
Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars, and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.
Because of what we did on this day, in this election, at this defining moment, change has come to America.
It is a big idea, a new world order.
The whole world will have this system, and that you will have it to be able to buy and sell.
In our world, there will be no emotions except fear, rage, triumph, and self-abasement. The sex instinct will be eradicated. There will be no loyalty except loyalty to the party. But always there will be the intoxication of power. Always, at every moment, there will be the thrill of victory, the sensation of trampling on an enemy that is helpless. If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face. Forever.
Can a microscopic tag be implanted in a person's body to track his every movement? There's actual discussion about that. You will rule on that, mark my words, before your tenure is over.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order.
Can brain scans be used to determine whether a person is inclined for criminality or violent behavior? You will rule on that.
That the problem of the good presidency will be the emergence of the new international order.
It's about the future of Europe and a new world order.
There's a need for a new world order.
A new world is emerging. It is a new world order with significantly different and radically new challenges.
President Obama and British Prime Minister Gordon today calling for a new world order.
And the president outlined his vision of a new world order.
Change has come to America.
The President of the United States can use this disaster to carry out a new world order.
The whole agenda is to create a one-world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips.
Then they came for the students. But I didn't speak up because I was not a student. Then they came for musicians. But I didn't speak up because I was not a musician. And then they came for the Greens, the Muslims, the trade unionists, Christians, and the Jews, the travelers, the homosexuals, the journalists, the artists, the thuggers, the doctors, the philosophers, the economists, the anarchists and the politicians, the nerds, the Europeans, the Americans, the communists, the hackers, illegals, the homeless. And I didn't speak up because I wasn't any of them. Any of them. And then they came for me. And there was no one left to speak up for me.
I had planned another closing message, but I feel compelled to say what I'm about to say. Now, I risk sounding like a conspiracy theorist, but it's no longer a theory. What I'm about to say is fact. The secret organizations of the world power elite are no longer secret. They have planned and are now leading us into a one-world communist government.
While they're doing this, they're amassing this wealth in order to redirect it toward martial law endeavor, and not just in America, but globally. They want to lock down every country and force us into global governance, eventually force us into a global reserve currency that is like the Bancor that the IMF has been pushing.
And those people who have been yelling, oh, the UN's going to take over global
conspiracy
government.
theorists.
They've been crazy, but now they're right. They've been crazy, but now they're right.
They have planned and are now leading us into a one-world communist government.
Now, taking into consideration the fact that Walmart is visited by over 35 million people each day, that higher-up corporate Walmart executives work in concert with the Department of Homeland Security, NSA, and other federal agencies in order to detect and counteract threats before they have an opportunity to elevate, combined with the widely known fact that the Walmart Corporation receives billions in government aid annually, and the fact that with Facebook, they've had a hand in developing facial recognition technology, Walmart could be seen as a data mining superstore that jeopardizes the private identities of those who come there to take advantage of advertised everyday low prices.
Walmart store closings keep getting stranger and stranger. Here are 5 facts about why Walmart's closings are not normal and may signal that massive unrest is coming. Number 1. Walmart originally closed 5 stores in the West and Southern United States in April 2015 without publishing a press release. Workers in Walmart were notified the day of that they would no longer be employed with the company, resulting in 2,200 lost jobs. No employee was offered an explanation, and only after significant pressure did Walmart finally put out a very strange press release. The stores closed due to plumbing problems, and the estimated time for their reopening would be 6 months. Number 2. Walmart announced that in 2016 it would close an additional 269 stores around the world. 154 of them would be in the United States, but a lesser-known statistic might actually be more important. And this is the fact that Walmart closed 10% of its stores in Brazil this year. Brazil is currently in a huge economic recession that is quickening to a depression. Dilma Rousseff of Brazil has called for Brazil's military to marshal the streets of large cities due to rioting, protests, and widespread distress. If Walmart's closings in Brazil are any indication of what's coming, then America has much to be concerned about. Number 3. On top of the 269 store closings in 2016, Walmart has closed additional stores for unusual reasons, including a Wiley, Texas Walmart, which was hit with hail damage during a storm. Walmart announced that the store would be closed until further notice. Those sources noted that the hail was marble-sized and did not cause damage to the Walmart in Wiley. Yet, the Walmart closed anyway. Additionally, brand new Walmart stores across the nation are being shuttered. Walmart claims that this is because of their sharpened focus on portfolio management.
Store opened just 12 short months ago, the big ribbon cutting attended by local officials. Now the new neighbor they welcomed with open arms will shut its doors for the last time in just 2 weeks.
Why would you go to the expense of building a building and putting a store, and then all of a sudden, and they tell their employees they got 2 weeks?
Interestingly, just last month, Google, a known partner working alongside the CIA, accidentally leaked a map showing nearly every Walmart in the United States permanently closed. Naturally, the lamestream media did not report this, but an Arkansas local newspaper did. Google was quick to explain that the map was just an accident, and that it was working to fix the problem. Yet it is strange that only Walmarts were shown to be closed on the Google Maps. Perhaps a glimpse of a future reality. Number 4. After store closings in 2015, several observers noted that there was a ton of security outside and surrounding the Walmart stores. In fact, there was 24-hour surveillance. Later, FBI and Department of Homeland Security vehicles were photographed outside of the store. And not only this, but tanks, Humvees, and military helicopters were seen around these Walmarts. The stores were emptied of their contents, literally millions of products, and razor wire was erected around the sites. The pharmacies of these Walmarts were left open, and certain individuals who went in to fill their prescriptions took photos of the stores from the inside that were gutted, the walls not having any products on them. Now, it appears that Walmart is doing the same thing with at least 269 additional stores. One Walmart in Montana has already been transformed into a prison, while other Walmarts, including one in the state of Ohio, have become detention centers. A video from 2010 posted by Janet Napolitano of the Department of Homeland Security proves that a relationship has existed between Walmart and the government involving Homeland Security.
Hi, I'm Janet Napolitano, Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. Homeland Security begins with hometown security. That's why I'm pleased that Walmart is helping to make our communities more safe and secure. If you see something suspicious in the parking lot or in the store, say something immediately. Report suspicious activity to your local police or sheriff. If you need help, ask a Walmart manager for assistance.
Walmart, one of the biggest retailers in the world, is intricately involved in the DHS. Number 5. What you may not know about Walmart might actually shock you. Walmart is an industry leader and pilot of biometric and RFID technology, becoming one of the first Fortune 500 companies to employ RFID throughout its supply chain. Back in 2012 and 2013, Walmart brought Solo Health stations into their store and announced that they were a part of an Obamacare initiative. What very few people took note of was the machine's ability to scan RFID chip technology. Specifically, it had an apparatus underneath the machine that was used to scan RFID chips and to collect huge quantity of data on individuals. An RFID chip was one method of activating the machine's memory, which allowed it to store data on literally thousands upon thousands of people who used it. The Solo Health machine has been under quiet production for many years, with Walmart as a pilot company testing out these machines. Much of what Walmart has done with Solo Health stations has gone under the radar. I want to read an article from an online publication called Modern Materials Handling. They document that Walmart and the Department of Defense have a long-standing partnership on RFID technology initiation. Going back to the early 2000s, this partnership was to track items as a part of the supply chain. This article goes on to speculate that RFID will be introduced on a much wider scale in 2016, and that RFID needs to be reinvented. Walmart and the Department of Defense have worked together on this. So was RFID just a project to track items, to track products in the store? Or perhaps was it for another reason, to track something else? Are Walmarts now transitioning to their true purpose?
An Volk und an Reich, an unsere deutsche Nation. Unser deutsches Volk Sieg ein! Sieg ein! Sieg ein! Sieg ein! Sieg ein! Sieg ein!
What is your government doing right now? What is the military doing with these Jade Helm and UX training drills? They are getting ready for martial law. They're getting ready for race wars, race riots. They're getting ready for all the like. They're getting ready for civil unrest. They're getting ready for people to go nuts when there's no food, when there's no more water to put you into these FEMA camps. Also, it even tells you that past participants in this program include businesses like Target, Verizon, Brookfield Properties, Walmart, Big Lots, Citigroup, and more. So even companies are involved with all of this. And I'm going to tell you that we may just think that these FEMA camps are going to be and look like prisons, but really they're going to even look like shopping malls and shopping centers. They're going to be undercover and hidden. That's why you have to be on your toes. Now I'm going to be here also on this FEMA website, and it shows the regional contact information. It shows all the regions, and I believe there are 10 of them which FEMA camps have been split into, or that FEMA groups and categorizes everything into. The first group is what looks like the Northeast over here. The second group is New York and New Jersey, the Atlantic. The third group is right here. The fourth group is the Southeast. The fifth group is actually the Midwest, with Chicago as the center. And you can see their centers right here. I'm not going to name them for the sake of time, but here's 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And also in group 2, that includes Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Now, why is all this important? Why have they already mapped out everything on flood hazard mapping activities, but why are they grouping everything and they have capital cities ready to go? Because this is how they're going to go with the plan for what? Martial law, for putting people into these FEMA camps. And also, honestly, if you're in a big city, now is the time to start thinking ahead of time, because I'm telling you, the cities is where they are targeting. Living off grid is not looking like a bad idea, honestly. So I'm showing you this so that you know and are aware, but I'm going to show you some other startling information and facts that even show and prove that these FEMA camps are not just the prison and the military bases, but they are also even in your stores, shopping centers, shopping malls, and even what looks to be just like a normal shopping center. Remember, your mainstream media is not going to tell you this. Your mainstream media, the alphabet soups, the CNNs, the Fox, the ABCs, they're not going to talk about this. Why? Because they're trying to distract you. So I'm going to go scroll down. But look at this picture right here. Prison fencing in a guard tower at this Denver public school. At a school. Why would a school need fencing in a guard tower? You all need to start paying attention to even the minute, minuscule little things, because that is how they're going to prepare. And they're going to use federal buildings and federal areas such as schools, libraries, and even post offices as means and as places and as like guard places for these FEMA camps, as bases. They're going to become the new military bases.
Stores across the country are temporarily closing, they say, for plumbing issues, and one of those stores is at Admiral and Memorial in Tulsa. Now, Walmart says these issues are so large they need 6 months to make these plumbing repairs.
Those associates and customers tell me they just can't believe it's a plumbing issue that's the real issue for the closing. Do you believe it's a plumbing issue?
No, I don't.
The U.S. supermarket chain Walmart has announced it plans to close down some 25 stores throughout China next year.
Walmart said on Thursday it would close 30 underperforming stores in Japan, scaling back in what was once considered one of the retailer's most promising markets.
Tonight surrounding the sudden closure of 5 Walmart stores across the country, including right here in the Bay Area. A union has filed a complaint with the National Labor Relations Board, claiming the closures were acts of retaliation against workers. Team investigator Adam Walzer has been following this case from the get-go. He joins us live now with the latest. Adam?
Well, Jameson, for the past week, the Walmart story has been blowing up the web as people try to figure out exactly what might be going on. You can see right here, nearly 160,000 people have reached this story, 454 shares, hundreds of comments, people trying to figure out exactly what's going on.
While sitting in an adjacent Burger King parking lot on top of a fairly steep hill, attempting to get footage and gather information about one of the 5 Walmart stores that closed for alleged plumbing issues, 2 very cool Tulsa police officers who were sitting in the parking lot below descended upon me pretty quickly to question me about a break-in at that very Walmart that had just occurred minutes before I arrived on the scene. We ended up getting into a short discussion about Jade Helm, the possible link between Walmart, FEMA camps, and the corporation's potential involvement in these realistic military training exercises. They shared something interesting about what's going on inside Tulsa's Walmart.
Hey, how you doing? Good. Pretty interesting little contraption there. You don't have anything to do with the break-in down there at Walmart, do you? I don't know anything about a break-in. I'm not even from around here. Okay. Well, a couple things. One, the international airport is right over there. Right, so yeah. It's no-fly zone. 2, Yeah. Well, it's a no-fly zone above 400 feet. That's FAA. 4 or 5? 4. Above 400? Yeah, I was only 180. Okay. I love that, man. It's pretty sweet. Thanks. But we had a break-in down there. We were flying right above us. We were just wondering if the guys that broke in are laying down on the roof. Just had a fall through because we just had a break-in. Yeah, no problem. I appreciate it. You haven't got any on yet, so you can just make a record. My name's Brian. Brian, Billy, this is Ross. Nice to meet you, man. Nice to meet you. So, how long were you flying? What's that? How long were you flying? 180. No, how long? Oh, how long? 7 minutes, max. Why? Because we were hoping you might have got footage of somebody coming out of the store. Oh, did it just now happen? Yeah. I saw 2 guys when I came in, but you guys were already in the parking lot. Yeah. The guys in the red truck. It started about 40 minutes ago. Oh man, I meant to be here earlier too. That would have been great to get that on footage. That would have been awesome. You need my ID? Been on the news. Yeah. So we got a drone operator. It would have been the dude on the news. Being the hero of the day. Yeah, that would have been awesome. By law, I got to show you that too. Okay. I do have a firearm on board. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, when we first got here, there were cars like taking off out of the way.
Yeah, we had 2 or 3 of them leave. Did they actually take something? Did they actually break in? They did. Yeah, they got where the security cars. See that the red tarp, the brown tarp? Yeah, that's the door they forced open. Well, because there's tons of security cameras. Surely they got somebody in there. It's closed. Those cameras are down. No way. They turned off their security?
Well, no, they have security.
They still have security.
It's all alarms are good.
But, yeah,
it's alarmed up and down, left and right.
Right.
As far as being manned, like someone watching actively, they have a separate company that just mans the alarm.
Well, let me ask you this: Why is this Walmart closed? Because I heard they're going to be down for like 6 months.
Well, they're going to be down for several more months that I know of, but then again, think about Walmart. So.
Right.
They actually are cutting.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah, the 2 that you saw were actually contractors, and man, they're cutting the whole thing. In terms of the plumbing issues,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not a plumber, then again, so I don't know about that either. But they are indeed getting it. That's why they have those dumpsters there. You know, when they first put it down, they were just yanking stuff out left and right. So.
Dozens of Walmart stores across the nation closed for good this day, and that includes one right here in Connecticut.
Walmart announced it's going to close down 269 stores around the world, including 154 here in the U.S. Just one of them is in Connecticut. It's in West Hartford. Most of the stores that are closing are small grocery-type stores, what Walmart calls neighborhood markets or Walmart Express stores. And we're hearing about small towns in other parts of the country where Walmart opened one of these stores. Their lower prices forced local mom-and-pop stores to close down, and now that Walmart is leaving those towns, there's going to be no stores left in which to buy food or get prescription drugs. The Associated Press says in parts of Alabama, Arkansas, and Kansas, the closures will create what they call food deserts, places where you have no options for buying groceries.
So the article goes on to say, earlier in the summer of 2015, I was awestruck when I had an epiphany about much architecture had changed on commercial and public buildings. Notice the architecture and what it looks like. They're putting it in our faces subliminally because they want us to get ready and get used to these towers and everything else. But he goes on to say, the most striking change came in the form building what clearly looks like guard towers on new strip malls, shopping malls, new schools, and this trend even went so far as to include the retrofitting of closed strip malls. No, we have architects who are as concerned as we all are. I think he meant to say now, but the allegations of paranoia and unfounded conclusion will fade into the background after these accounts. This is not a conspiracy. This is what's going on. This photo is what started the controversy of, look, guard towers being needlessly built on public structures. From the air, the guard towers stick out like a sore thumb. You can see them right here. Why would they need all those guard towers on a building? The only thing missing is customers, or what he should really say, prisoners. Look at this school. Look, you can even see, why is that there? Guard towers, fences. It even looks abandoned. Why is that? It looks like a prison. A Denver metropolitan school complete with the Marana Mall type of guard tower. You can see it right here. And it goes on to even say, look at the FEMA Mall in Tampa. This is a mall. You see the gates, you see the towers ready to go. From a layman's perspective, I could not see any justification for adding guard towers to a mall. He says, what is the point? And then he goes in to talk about who are these FEMA camps for. However, the FEMA camps facilities are only capable of housing about 800,000 detainees. And remember, they're all across. And like I said, they're going to be using schools, malls, and architecture buildings and other facilities in order to fulfill this agenda. And he goes on to say, nothing happens in isolation. And in the context of the martial law drill, Jade Helm 15, it's quite clear the DHS, FEMA, the DOD, and all the alphabet soups are preparing for mass detentions in numbers which would greatly exceed the estimated 800 FEMA camps already in existence. Now, this is important. Think about this. They're not going to have enough room and space to put everybody in these FEMA camps. So what are they going to have to do? They're going to have to put you into subsequent FEMA camps, or what I like to call them, the nickname for FEMA camps, which are what? The schools and all of these right here. They're going to be converted into FEMA camps. It's going to be for the same use and the same the purpose. As an aside, do you remember when FEMA was cornered with proof as to the existence of FEMA camps, and they said that they would only be used in the event of a mass immigration event due to an external cause? Well, we know this is a lie because we have and still continue to experience mass immigration. They're just saying that as a cover because there are two main reasons they're going to use for this FEMA camp. One of them is going to be for the Syrian refugees. There's way too many refugees. We need to start putting them in these FEMA camps. And there are reports that have actually said that they have already begun putting these so-called Syrian refugees into these FEMA camps. in which we know they're going to use the Syrian refugees, or some of them, for World War III, for so-called terrorism and false flags. But second, they're going to try to say, oh, we need them for in case of an emergency, Why would there be an emergency unless they were planning on an emergency, which is what they're doing. Remember, solution out of a problem. They cause the problem and offer their own solution. Let's keep going, though. He goes on to talk about the illegal aliens that are in America and how that relates to FEMA camps. But I want you to see this and how important it is. Architects. He even talks about and have reports from architects who say the same things. Guard towers are being built upon shopping malls and schools to serve no purpose except for what? The FEMA camps. And he goes on to talk about. Now, what's interesting is that these architects, he gets these reports from actual architects. He talks about how these architects, as they build, they started noticing that what? That these buildings, they started adding guard towers to them that are not needed. And these architects started questioning this and started wondering, why are they building guard towers on these buildings unless they're being used for a specific purpose? He goes on to say that another architect that noticed it too was, I designed timber homes and some commercial buildings, so I've noticed this trend over the past few years that new buildings have a guard tower feature. Why is that? Do you see that? It's hidden right in front of our faces. So we see what the real purpose is. Now I'm on another article that he posted. The next tool of tyranny and enslavement is coming from your pastor and FEMA. It says your church is likely an agent of the state. Now they're using surveillance in their church and camera and face recognition in order to spot you and place you into these FEMA camps. The Church X program, which is this nefarious program, in order for churches to so-called know their members, are what do? They recognize your face. How? They enroll you into the church's database, they upload videos or photos of the members, and then they identify your face recognition. They also have this technology with the cameras, with cameras outside of your house, with cameras installed on street lights, with cameras installed in malls, businesses, wherever you go. They have the face recognition technology, and it's only a matter of time until they include this technology on your TVs, on your phones, on your laptops. Why? Because they want to spy on everything you do so that they can know who they want to place into these FEMA camps and where. So, but what is the church? What are they doing? What is their agenda? The pastors, what do they do? If you're new to a church organization, or if you're new, or if you've been going to a church and you're so-called tithing to the church, what do? The pastors submit a list of their weekly congregation attendees and the new attendees. We had to fill out that form or fill out that card or fill out like an envelope. They submit all of that information to the government so the government can keep track of who's going to church and who's part of which congregation and who they could use to put into these FEMA camps. They have a ton of databases and a ton of information about you. Even as we speak, they're keeping track of your emails, your phone calls, your text messages. They're keeping track of what you watch, what you do, where you go, who you talk to, where you shop. They are keeping track on everything. And I'm telling you this to let you know. It even ruffles. It actually gives me shivers just to think about that. My government's, they're spying on every move I make. But I'm telling you this so that you are aware of what's going on and so that you can see what's going on for yourself and see that, look, this right here, this is not a joke. This is what's going on behind closed doors. They are converting all of this into FEMA camps, and they're using your pastors and even people in these malls and the banks and these bankers to collect information about you. And I'm telling you this so that you know ahead of time, so that when disasters do strike, so when the government and their planned disasters do hit, you are ready for it and you're able to arm yourself. How are you going to arm yourself? Not with weapons, not with, stocking up on food, but with the full armor of Yahuwah. With Yahuwah and following his law, statutes, and commandments, and his son Yahusha, who died for your sins. That way all may be well with you. Seek Yahuwah in these end days, because I'm telling you, things are about to go real crazy. But I wanted to share all of this with you all because I think it's important to know and to see what's really going on. And also I wanted to mention how they're turning street signs and and different traffic signs into FEMA labels as well, and how that relates and correlates and corresponds to the military as well. Like I said, it's all subliminal. You don't see it now, but even if you look at a road sign or just some of the traffic and highway signs, you start to notice, why are certain signs there? Why are certain arrows there? They're there for the black helicopters. They are there for martial law.
Puzzled neighbors are on Facebook and on Twitter. They're wondering, what's with the X marks that have been left on street curbs? Residents of at least 2 Northside neighborhoods report seeing more and more of these things. So we sent out our Jesse Degollado to check it out.
If X marks the spot, then why here? Why are there small red X's scattered here and there along curbs and sidewalks? Even X's that were apparently cut into fresh cement, then colored blue.
Our intelligence unit is looking into it. Our North Property Crimes unit is looking into it, and we also have our patrol officers in the area are well aware of the situation.
So are they a way of alerting burglars? Who's home and who's not?
It doesn't appear that there's anything sinister going on.
Still, police aren't ruling anything out. Maybe they're markings for underground utilities.
That is one of the prevailing theories that we're looking into, that it could be.
Yet SAWS, CPS Energy, Public Works, and Solid Waste Management tell us they don't use markings like this.
You know, I never noticed that up until now.
Olivia Guzman, who has a red X in front of her house, agrees given where her utilities are located.
No, they're over here. That's the phone, AT&T right there.
Then why are they here?
I would like to know why somebody will mark the front of my house.
Now, SAPD tells me that this is not against the law, but it is trying to confirm whether a company was going door to door and then left these X's in front of houses that perhaps weren't interested in what they were trying to sell. Now, they also will be looking into whether the red X's and the blue X's are somehow connected.
I've had people calling me saying they go out to their mailbox and they find a little red dot or a little blue dot on their mailbox, and they wonder what the little red dot and blue dot is. Well, it's marking your mailbox by the government, so when foreign troops come in here on us after martial law, if you have a red dot on your mailbox, they take you out immediately and shoot you right in the head. But if you have a blue dot, they take you to the FEMA camps being built by Halliburton right now to house 50 million Americans. They're building enough concentration camps in America by Halliburton that Cheney's getting rich off of, Vice President Cheney's getting rich off of, to put those with the blue dot on your mailbox in those concentration camps. Now, if you go out and you find a pink dot on your mailbox, that means that they believe you'll be a good slave and you're going to go along with the program and serve our international Antichrist masters.
A new world order for the 21st century.
So watch for that dot. They haven't got up to our area yet because they're afraid we might catch them putting the dots on the mailbox and they wouldn't get back to their home at night.
Not too long ago, I talked with Dale Bohannon, whom I've known since, I guess, the mid-1980s. And he told me something very interesting that he found back in the fall of 2000 while he was on a business trip. Listen to this, folks.
I was pulled to the side road, which was a new cut gravel dirt road in front of a business, a builder supply business, actually top-notch builder supply in Madison, Georgia. To my right, this was previously was a soybean field, and this little new cut road divided this field, and the right side of the road was filled with which I thought was portable toilets. So I never looked at them that close. Same in color, maybe black, but which was an odd color. And I was sitting there going over my notes, and a van pulled alongside of me that turned out to be the property owner. And he greeted me, and he was by himself, and so we had a good little dialogue there, and I asked him about the field of black boxes what were they, because I'd never seen anything like that. And his statement was that if he told me, I would be one of few people in Madison, Georgia that knew about them. And he says they're disposable coffins, I believe he told me. And he says there's 100, at that time he said there was 125,000 there. And they were stacked, he told me, 15 high. I asked him who owned them, and he stated that the CDC owned them and that they were leasing his land for storage. And he said his brother worked with the CDC in Atlanta and had been asked by the CDC to do a 3-year extension to place temporary morgues all across the nation.
So in January of this year, 2005, we decided to drive to beautiful Madison, Georgia and take a look for ourselves. It was on a Sunday and no one was around, with the exception of this one pickup truck that was coming out the narrow road that we were going in on next to this field. We flagged down the pickup truck, and it was providential that the driver of this pickup truck turned out to be the son of the man that owned this field. So naturally, we started asking him questions. And he told us that not long ago, there had been as many as 500,000 of these grave liners or disposable coffins. We asked him for permission if we could look around, and he said yes, so we did.
We're just getting an idea for the size of these boxes. What could these boxes be used for? Well, they're called casket liners. And that's an interesting term, isn't it? It's a casket liner. When I first heard the term casket liner, I thought perhaps a lining for a casket. But this is too big to be on the inside of a casket. So certainly this could be used as a casket. This is an inexpensive casket. And you can see the size here. There's lots of room. I think my friends here, we could all probably get inside, and it might be a little cozy, but we'd fit just fine. Which tells me that these liners can be used for more than just one. And one more time, what kind of liners are these?
Casket liners.
These are casket liners.
That's what the man said.
That's what the man told us. And we're told that there are about, well, there were about 500,000 out here.
Here are the facts. The Federal Emergency Management Agency was created in 1976 and charged with handling domestic emergencies. When most people think of FEMA, they think of hurricanes, earthquakes, tornadoes, and floods. Since its inception, FEMA has consistently saved American lives. Like the Boy Scouts, FEMA aims to be prepared. They provide logistical support, food, clothing, and other services in emergency situations. The agency has also built housing facilities in locations across the world. To the mainstream media, this is just another step in preparing for catastrophes. But to others, it's something much worse. Here's where it gets crazy. FEMA is a front for a secret government, and the housing locations will actually serve as quarantine centers or internment camps. This is not an unfounded fear. After all, during World War II, the US forced over 100,000 Japanese Americans into government camps for the duration of the conflict. And civil unrest could be considered a domestic emergency. How would this insurrection occur? Theorists cite any number of possible causes, from the establishment of a one-world government to a national pandemic. Some believe a global elite of bankers and aristocrats may artificially create a disaster to trigger a massive incarceration of US citizens who object to the plan, whatever that plan might be. A large natural disaster can displace hundreds of thousands of people, so building temporary housing in advance seems like a good idea. Yet there's another angle here. The US already holds the world's largest prison population, with over 2 million people incarcerated. Most of the people who believe that FEMA is a cover for mass imprisonment also believe in the Illuminati, Freemasons, or satanic conspiracies. Sometimes they believe in all three. The outlandish nature of some theories may make them hard to swallow, yet the facts are foreboding even to skeptics. The federal government has indeed constructed massive housing facilities across the United States, from Oakdale, California to Atlanta, Georgia. Executive orders have given FEMA and other agencies increasingly broad emergency powers, even allowing the U.S. Army and Marine Corps to perform domestic operations. The focus of FEMA has steadily moved away from natural disasters to concentrate on the management of a hypothetically unruly populace. FEMA keeps a red list and a blue list, where people on the blue list will be shipped to camps for quarantine or re-education, while those on the red list will be executed.
There's the sound, you guys.
Alright guys, here's Walmart here. I gotta do this quick before security catches me out here. So there's the Walmart, right? So we're back over here in this kind of an empty field. And you'll see how it's kind of looks like there would be what looks like a huge tunnel. See this field, how it's been down? You really don't want to get caught here by security. But if you look, it's just weird how it extends to this land over here. Like, looks like something was dug out, just filled it back over with dirt at one point. So, are there tunnels under Walmart? Absolutely. The red arrows actually follow along the path where I believe would be the tunnel and where I was at shooting video earlier. You can see the parking lot looks to have new asphalt extended right over the top of what looks to be the tunnels.
Just recently, this black fence has popped up on the other side of the train. You can see these sort of train cars or storage units, but they look like, I don't know, like train tops, if you ask me. Looks like a mobile command center. Over here on the left, I just saw the biggest helicopter I have ever seen. I have never seen so many Walmart trucks in one spot.
Looking over here at this closed Walmart at Pico Rivera, California. That looks like porta potties. I'm gonna look inside and see what they look like. Look like FEMA trailer porta potties. Mission Valley Sanitation. Reminds me of stuff I saw in Iraq. Yeah, FEMA style stuff. Over here you see what appears to be NASA on one of their bins. Maybe that's a garbage company or something, but that's pretty strange looking. All the outside is closed off. You can't see inside. I walked up to the front and it's all black trash bagged, blacked out. There's some of the obviously a security camera right there. They're keeping watch on their store, their permanently closed store.
This is Walmart Pico Rivera. Just want you to see. You can see in there completely empty. Completely empty in there. Those are the cash registers and nothing behind there. Absolutely empty. I don't know what's going on in there, but it's completely empty. That whole place is empty.
Jeez Louise. Look at that. Cannons.
Walmart, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Come to take a look at what they got going on. Yeah, they got a secondary security guard. We just watched one go down over here on the ramp and take a cruise through and see what we can see.
It's completely vacant in there. They have plumbing issues. Why are they ripping everything out of the place? That's what I want to know. Look at it, it's gone.
Empty?
Yeah, complete. You can see inside the store and it is completely empty. Why wouldn't you just leave the store the way it is, fix the plumbing issues, put everything back? They've gotten the whole place. I just don't understand why you would need to gut a complete store.
No, I've plumbed Walmarts.
Yeah.
And there's no reason to gut a whole entire store.
This is our Walmart here in Fernley, Nevada. Welcome to Jade Helm Walmart.
Walmart, Midland, Texas. Just got run out of the parking lot by a security guard. Came over here to Roadhouse to eat. Came back out. Saw this on my Wi-Fi.
Once again, this is a warning about these churches and the warning to get out of the church quick, because the deception goes much deeper than what you think it does. And not only that, it is just as bad as this sun worship. And I'm going to tell you the agenda right now. These churches and these pastors are not only pimping you out with so-called tithes, but what they're also doing is that they are working directly with your government. They are working directly hand in hand with these FEMA camps in order to place you into these FEMA camps. And you don't want to be victim to that. So I have a lot to go over with, and I just want to start right now. So I'm on I'm on the truthnews.info, and it says right out of a Nazi player movie, you just cannot get more fascist than this. The churches are being forced to go along with FEMA, with losing their 501c3 tax exemption to prepare their communities to relinquish their firearms and obey their officials and leaders by taking Romans chapter 13 out of context. Now let me give you some background and information on 501c3s. 501c3s, in order for any church or a church organization to even receive money or funding through the government, they have to get a 501c3 tax exemption. That way they're not going to be taxed. Now, any time when a church receives a 501c3, they are no longer doing it for the truth. They are doing it for the government. They have to follow the government's orders. They have to sign a ton of documents stating what they can say, what they cannot say. There's just a bunch of deception that goes along with 501c3s. And here are articles and links in a news report of this assault on America. There's also a video. And so what's the agenda here? When martial law is declared, when there is a state of emergency declared, and there's already been starts of states of emergency, what these churches and pastors are going to do is they're going to brainwash their congregation into being subservient to the government. They're going to tell them to give up their guns. They're going to tell them that they must obey the government in case of an emergency. There's already pamphlets and things listed out that these pastors can and cannot say to people who have been affected by these natural disasters or these state of emergencies. And case in point, and to make the long story short, the pastors are going to try to get you into these FEMA camps. They're going to lead you into the slaughterhouse, literally. And I'm trying to let you know and awake you now, do not fall for it. So it says, a pastor has come forward to blow the whistle on the nationwide FEMA program, which is training pastors and other religious representatives to become secret police enforcers who teach their congregations to so-called obey the government in preparation for a declaration of martial law, property and firearm seizures, and forced relocation. You can look up the executive orders that your lovely presidents have signed into office, which, by the way, all of which are unconstitutional. But now, if you look up these executive orders, and I'll try to look them up myself for you, the government basically can take away your house, they can take away your kids, they can take away you, and they can force you into relocation into these FEMA camps. And now they so-called have the right to do it because of these executive orders. Not only that, but they own your house, they own your apartment, they own your garden, they own everything. So, in March of this year, the pastor who we shall refer to as Pastor Revere was invited to attend a meeting of his local FEMA chapter, which circulated around preparedness for a potential bioterrorist attack, any natural disaster, or a nationally declared emergency. The FEMA directors told the pastor that attended that it was their job to help implement FEMA and Homeland Security directives in anticipation of any of these eventualities. So basically, your pastor is working hand in hand with FEMA, DHS, and the government to put you into these FEMA camps. The first directive was for pastors to preach to their congregations Romans chapter 13, the often taken out of context Bible passage that was used by Hitler to hoodwink Christians into supporting him in order to teach them to obey the government when martial law is declared. And I'll show you this link, and I'll show you the document as well. It was related to the pastors that quarantines, martial law, and forced relocation were a problem for state authorities when enforcing federal mandates due to the cowboy mentality of citizens standing up for their property and Second Amendment rights, as well as farmers defending their crops and livestock from seizure. Remember, like I always tell you, the government, what do? They cause the problem and offer the solution. So what are the problems they're going to cause? They're going to cause all this chaos and disaster. They're going to cause these race riots. They're going to cause all this stuff. They're already training your government and your military. They're already training them with drills in Texas in order to prepare for race riots, in order to prepare for race wars. They're already training them to prepare for just beyond chaos in this country. They're training them to prepare for no more food in stores. They're training them to prepare for people being on the streets, rioting and massacring the streets. And so what is their solution going to be? If you are a so-called Christian, or if you're in any church or religious organization, or you're affiliated with it, they're training their pastors already to get you ready and to become subservient to the government, to lead you to the FEMA camps. And it's important that you see it.
There's currently 319 million Americans within the United States, and the current polling has them at around 70.6 to 83% of the population. So how does a New World Order take out roughly 223 to 265 million Christians? Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot of people in there that aren't truly Christian, or maybe they are more sheeple-like and will go along with the motions. But let's take a look back at history. Him on Christianity, we tolerate no one in our ranks who attacks the ideas of Christianity. In fact, our movement is Christian. You can see him there shaking hands with people from the Vatican. There's lots of photos out there, people, about how the Vatican or self-proclaimed Christians were Nazis. More photos right outside churches with the swastika. And then Adolf Hitler himself coming out of a Christian church. And if we look at religion in Nazi Germany, 67% were Protestant and 33% were Catholic. So you're looking at a major population of Germany that was some denomination of Christian, yet they allowed the Holocaust and atrocities of it to occur. Now, how in the world did this happen? Well, what about another case in history? How about the Dark Ages, and how the Roman Catholic Church murdered anywhere from 50 to 150 million Christians who were saying that the Roman Catholic Church was a heretical organization. They went against the Roman Catholic Church and were therefore persecuted and killed because of that. Revelation 12:17, folks, and it says the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. The remnant is going to be where the large majority of America still remains or identifies as quote-unquote Christian, but there's only going to be a remnant that stays true to the teachings of Christ and the teaching of the gospel, because things are going to get rough and the teaching is incredibly skewed. And if you know about a lot of these mega churches and all the different denominations of Christianity, there's a lot of weird stuff that goes on. You know, I don't stay siloed and stay in just one particular church. I've visited multiple churches, and there are some that are Christian that honestly scare me. The key thing to know about the end times is it's going to be accompanied by a false church, by an end times false religion. And that is why I follow the Pope and the Roman Catholic faith very, very closely, because that is the false church that's going to bring everyone into this new world order religion.
And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus, and for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years.
Not many understand it is the sins of this nation that will bring it down. What this country has sown, it shall reap. Instability, famine, fear, atrocities. All these things are waiting in the wings to be turned loose on this nation. Martyrdom for some. That will be a crown, not a punishment. For a while after the devastation hits, there will be unprecedented conversions until the government can regroup and begin the regime of the Antichrist. Many have already been conscripted to his service in underground cities. Those that survive, that is. Many have also been trained and readied for induction, and it is just a matter of time before they swing into action. Military defeat is key to placing America under one world rule. Organized, and young adults are enthusiastically offering their lives to the world government, things will become tighter and tighter and stricter and more difficult to slip through unnoticed. This is when the mark will be instituted. Opportune time to escape government control will be immediately after the disasters, because many will be presumed to be dead. That will be before organization sets in, although that will happen very quickly, as food, water, and medical necessities will be offered through their agency, and they will take down names and numbers for future reference. In this way, they can catalog very quickly who is still living by offering the necessities. Those who do not come forth, they will assume have been killed. They are relying on people's vulnerabilities for them to come forward for aid. Those who have no need for that will more easily escape being brought in captive. In fact, in many places that are feeding stations, people will be detained and placed in holding facilities. At first, they will look like benevolence on the part of the government, when in fact it is merely a way to dispose of them. Do not, under any circumstances, go forward for aid. I saw something like a Red Cross vehicle taking people to a triage or hospital unit. which was behind barbed wire. The people thought they were getting medical treatment, but they will actually be incarcerated until their fate is decided. Oh Lord, this is heavy, dark stuff. So heavy, so dark. I know, but I am forewarning you who will listen here. A word to the wise. Children will betray parents. Parents will betray children. You cannot rely on blood ties.
We're seeing the real Whitney coming out.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
we are. Let me tell you. I can talk about push me.
Human nature will fail you. There will be so much fear and betrayal that no one can be trusted unless I personally impart the witness to you. They are for real. As the Lord was speaking, I saw barbed wire fences enclosing mega church parking lots. But the wire was on the inside, and it was obvious that those inside were captive. He continued, "My people, even if they should bring you before the executioner for your faith in me, be not afraid. In seconds I will embrace you for eternity. Mercy will surround and anesthetize you in those last moments. Supernatural peace will also engulf you as you are led forth to execution. I know it is hard for you to accept now, and even some of you tremble in fear. But I tell you the truth, it will be much harder for those who must live hidden lives than for those who come to me early for their faith. In any case, I will be at your right hand and waiting for you to join me in eternity, where I have joy eternal planned for you, and you will forever be joined to me."
The grace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with you all. Amen.